They're going to know almost immediately if they want to hire you, what you look like, what you sound like, who you are, and whether or not you're going to be a good culture fit. It's going to make their job literally so much easier that they're probably going to give you an interview even if you don't get the job. Welcome back to The Marketing Solution. My name is Shelby Paige, and this week we're going to be talking about how to creatively apply for jobs. So last week, or maybe it was the week before, we were talking about resumes, and we were talking about the life of a digital marketer, their corporate ladder. So today we're going to be talking about how to land the job. Not only do you need to have a powerful resume, CV, whatever you decide to go with really intense descriptions that explain what you've done in the past, but also you need to stand out amongst people who might have very similar experience as you. So I'm going to talk about the last way that I got my last job. I worked at a company called Shopanova, and I had custom tailored my social media algorithm, my paid ads algorithm, to help me find a job. So I was going on digital agencies' websites, I was going on marketing guru websites, and I was being retargeted with their ads. So when I saw an agency retarget me with an ad, I would go into the ad comments and I would say, "Are you guys looking for media buyers?" And a couple of people were like, "No, we're not hiring right now," but Shopanova DM'd me, their social media manager, whoever was managing their brand's ads at the time, and they had been like, "Hey, yeah, we actually are looking for media buyers," and they sent me a direct link to their careers page. So now, instead of just applying to their careers page cold with no introduction, anything like that, I had made a connection with someone else at the company. I had asked someone else from the company what their name was and how they enjoy the job. And then when I went into the interview, I was like, "Hey, yeah, I actually found you guys through your algorithm." They thought it was so smart and so clever, and I had a way better chance at getting that job. Another example of someone who creatively applied for a job is a girl who started working at Spotify. She got her job at Spotify because she had submitted her resume, but she had also, at the top of her resume, put a link to her Spotify playlist with a little note that you were supposed to listen to her playlist while reading her resume. So she had custom tailored the Spotify experience while they were looking at her portfolio. They were looking at everything that she had done in the past, and she had songs and music accompanying it. And guess what? She kind of went viral for it, and she got the job at Spotify. So when it comes to being creative, it really helps you stand out amongst people who have similar experience as you, someone who maybe could even be more qualified for the job than you, but you're presenting yourself creatively to that company, to that agency, so they now know that you are dynamic, that you're a problem solver, that you think outside of the box, and those are characteristics that they might be looking for in a position maybe outside of someone who has an extra 2 years of experience. Maybe they'll teach you on the job, and they just want to know that you can dynamically come up with a way to interact with them. Weird. Another example of creatively setting yourself apart is to have video cover letters. So, cover letters. What's a cover letter? A lot of places have an optional cover letter. You should always submit something, but if you don't have the time to custom tailor your cover letter to every single job that you're applying for, let's say you're mass applying because you're looking for, a salary, we need those things, then what you're going to want to do is custom tailor a video cover letter. It doesn't have to be anything fancy. You could do it on your phone. It could be selfie style, but that extra step that you take is really going to set you apart, because just as much as you don't like writing cover letters, hiring managers, people in HR that are looking at people to be part of the team, they also don't like reading cover letters. If you give them a video, it's going to be so much easier for them to get to know you. They're going to know almost immediately if they want to hire you, what you look like, what you sound like, who you are, and whether or not you're going to be a good culture fit. It's going to make their job literally so much easier that they're probably going to give you an interview even if you don't get the job. Video cover letters are next level. The last tip I have for how to stand out amongst your competition when applying for jobs is to utilize LinkedIn. If you don't have a LinkedIn profile, go ahead. You're going to want to make one. But also, if you don't know what LinkedIn is, it's where people connect professionally. It is a professional social media site, and it's a great way to see if you know anybody that works at the job that you're looking to apply for. So maybe they don't have the same position, but maybe they're part of your alumni association. You guys went to the same college, or they might be someone you've known, I don't know, since middle school, high school, elementary school. You'd be surprised at how many people I know that I haven't talked to in 10 plus years that have ended up in a career path similar to mine that might benefit me. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're gonna want to interact on that platform. And if you're applying for a job for a giant company, you're going to want to add a couple people on LinkedIn that already work in that position. If they decide to add you as a friend before you apply, before you get that interview, you can go ahead and ask them some questions too. Ask them if they like the job there, what the work culture is like, you know? You can learn these things about a company before you actually apply. And then when you get into the interview room and you're talking to those people, you can say, yeah, so-and-so actually told me all about your work culture already. It really is something I want to be a part of, this and that. You're bringing something extra to the table. And it shows them that you took that extra step to get to know them, to actually want to know the company before you got into the room with them. And while you're interviewing for a job, always ask questions at the end. If they say like, oh, do you have any questions for us? Make one up if you don't have one. It shows that you're interested in the position and you're willing to take that extra step to set yourself apart from the competition. It's a super important skill to have, is to be able to interview well, to make connections with people, and LinkedIn's going to help you get there.
Crazy idea. Maybe just prepare some questions.
It would be better to prepare some questions. It's really interesting, actually. The easiest and most fun one to ask someone is like, well, do you like your job here? And then they get to gush over their position a little bit, and then you actually build a bridge that makes them seem more human too. They're not only an obstacle between you and the job that you want, they're a human that you'll be working with if you get a job at the company. Take an interest in them too. So if you want to stand out when applying for a job, here are the 3 things I have for you. Get to know the company, get to know the people that work at that company, and then make a video cover letter to make their jobs easier. Trust me, they're going to appreciate it. And they're going to be able to see if you're actually a good culture fit to join that company. A lot of it is, you have to work with these people every day. You might as well stand out, and you might as well like them. 2 birds, 1 stone. That's it for this episode. Thank you for joining us on The Marketing Solution.